PMP, PMP, PMP. This is the certification which changed my life. Not because I'm teaching you right now, but because whenever I used to go for interviews for the project manager position, recruiters always used to look at me differently. And that's what mattered. Ultimately, it was all about how I performed in the interview, but PMP, hands down, helped me to at least get that interview call. Why am I telling you all this? I am telling you all this because you are watching this video. This means you are going towards PMP. You are trying to achieve that. Don't give up on this. Right now, I'm sitting over here, I don't know, miles away from you, virtually helping you pass the exam. And my next video is all about task number 11 of domain people, which is engaging and supporting virtual team. And you will see how someone who is sitting far away from you would help you pass this exam in your first attempt. And if it's your second, then also. By the way, who am I? My name is Varun and I am the founder of EduHubSpot, a training company which teaches PMP, ACP, RMP, PGMP, SAFE, like you just name it and we do it. My team and I help thousands of students to pass this exam in first attempt. So let's go right into it. Okay, we are on chapter number 1, effective team formation, and we are talking about video number 6, which is engage and support virtual team. So let's do a quick revision. What we did, we first made sure we build a team, get the right players with us to start the work. Then we defined the ground rules with them. Then we negotiated some agreements with the team, some third party and all those, not just with the team, I mean third parties. Then we empowered our team members and stakeholders to do the right thing. Then we made sure that stakeholders, your team members, are adequately trained. And finally, now we are working towards engaging and supporting the virtual team. I think the biggest example of this is COVID. Right now, people are working from home. People are working virtually. And this task is all about engaging and supporting your virtual team members. So let's see. Okay, let's look at our exam content outline. Examine virtual team members need, environment, geography, culture, global. Yes, everyone is so located, so many different parts of the world. You have to make sure you support them, right? And how will you support them? By understanding their background, understanding their culture, respect it, investigate some alternative, like how you can communicate, like Zoom, like this video right now which I'm making for you. This is such an awesome communication tool for you, right? So that you can learn virtually by sitting miles away from me. Implement the options for virtual team member engagement. How will you keep them engaged? Like, I sometimes with my team, we do like pizza parties, like, watch movies together. Like, everyone is, of course, there's no force, but we do all these things. Continue evaluate effectiveness of virtual team member engagement. You as a project manager has to continuously evaluate that, so that keep members engaged, so that they are always focused on the goal, which is to make sure you pass this exam. How to collaborate virtual team members using technology? I think technology has changed everything, and it was basically this COVID where we really understood the real value of technology. Like, I mean, we of course respected technology before also, but right now everyone respects. Like, I've seen people, my parents, they have never used Zoom. Now they're using Zoom to, interact with me. So that's how it is. So have a robust team charter and make sure in your team charter, determine the working hours. Like when the team is doing, all those things. Mention about the conflict resolution techniques, mention about those decision making strategies. If there is a conflict, how would you resolve those conflicts? And make sure that it's always a win-win for everyone. Determine those team values, and whatever it is, whatever way team prefer, but make sure you at least have those team values. What tools you can use Kanban board, you can use task board, and all this we will be talking in the agile section, like Skype, Skype now no longer anyone uses it, but like Zoom, everyone works on Zoom. Like I work on Zoom all the time with my team members, with my students, and SharePoint, Google Drive, all these are different repositories which we use. All of these are tools which are making sure that we support you in a virtual environment. So first, what you need to do is you need to determine the virtual member needs. Like for example, when the COVID hit, when we asked everyone to work from home, it's not the case with us because we always were working from home, like all over the world. But I know, my students used to tell me that, their company has asked them to purchase a desk, and make an office, have a chair with all these things. So you as a project manager, determine what your team needs. Once you determine that, then make sure you set up the right expectations and deliver those things too. Team charter needs to define the shared goal and well-defined purpose of the project. Again, our main focus is that we should never we should never shy away from the real prospect of the project. Like what are we even trying to do, right? So team members need to work collaboratively as one single team and not individual contributors. Very, very important. And when you are in a virtual team member environment, problems like these can happen. So you as a project manager, you as a scrum master have to take that action, be the front person and determine that it's not a big deal. We can all do that. And what are the different alternatives you can determine for the, when I remember when I used to work for a different company, we used to do those happy hours, we used to go have pizza parties and things like that, right? But right now in the virtual world, what are we doing? I think so you really need to have some kind of engagement level. Like for example, I would say we use video conferencing tool. A lot of time I always ask team members to talk through Zoom. That touch, like face-to-face touch, always helps. Like that's my personal decision. But it's more of a personal choice. Use tools like Kanban board to promote visibility. Now in a virtual world, yes, there are in virtual world also you can use we have shared our Kanban board on the drive, and everyone works towards it and works to it. There are many tools which actually, Jira is one of the tool which uses that. So as a PM, make sure you are motivating the team to keep the information current on these information radiators, and we'll talk about information radiators on Agile later, so don't worry about those things. And I've been using this term communication, like Zoom, biggest example, biggest tool for communication. But what is this communication? Process of sending or receiving information. Like right now what I'm doing with you, that's also communication. Even though I'm not interacting with you, I'm not talking to you, but my students have always told me that, Varun, when I was giving the exam, I felt like that you are sitting next to me. Why? When we were approaching a question, your voice was echoing in our mind. And that's exactly what I wanted. I want to make sure that when you are attempting a question, when you're thinking about a concept, you should think about the root cause. You should think about the fundamental of it. That's what communication is all about. And it's about, face-to-face, online, mass media, books, like all those things. Like this video, biggest example of communication which will help you pass this exam. Mark my words. This video and my other videos, my complete program will help you pass this exam. This is communication, right? The best form of communication is always face-to-face. And that's why I prefer to implement. You should also try to implement. Right now, I'm not at least you can see me, right? You can talk to me about through the chat and comments and sending me emails at my email ID varun.anand@edu. Like all these is done, but the best form is always face-to-face, if you ask me. And we have communication management plan. But now this is something which, it should be part of the plan, the project work, but I deliberately added it over here. Why? Because when you're supporting a virtual team members, all that communication need to be mentioned on to support those virtual team members has to be part of your communication management plan. all that in how would you communicate, how you will support those virtual team members, like would you be using Zoom, what all things you would be like, where you would be storing that information, where you would be capturing that information, all that has to be part of your communication management plan. And as the name states, it's plan. Always remember the keyword for plan is how for all of the plans, and I will explain that in detail in Plan the Project Work, my chapter number 2, I think, where I have around 7 videos, I don't remember, but many videos. So this plan specifies what information will be distributed and updated in what format, how often, and to which stakeholders or group. That's communication management plan. And all that, like, I'm going to use SharePoint, I'm going to communicate on a weekly basis, all that is part of your communication management plan. Since you are supporting a virtual team members, the Stuckman ladder of team development is very important. And why I'm saying that is, irrespective of whether it's a virtual team members or it is, you're going to a physical location working together, a team member goes through this team ladder of team development. And what are these? Forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Like, think of forming as the first day of your new job. What will you do? Initial few days, you will talk to the people, try to understand what's going on, but it's the forming, very initial stage. You're not really working on the project, it's more on, trying to, gel with the people working. That's storming, as the name states, storm, something bad. A stage where maximum conflict will happen. So over here, you will probably, give an approach that this is how you should resolve a problem. Some other team members may come up with a different approach, and that's where conflict happens. And always remember, if there is a conflict, the goal should always be win-win scenario. You should never judge a person, instead judge the problem. Hit on the problem, not on the person, of course. So that's your storming stage. Then norming, where team begins to work together. They try to understand what other person thought process is. But the initial days of working together as a team, the best stage is actually you're performing when your entire team works as one cohesive unit and one organized unit to make sure that the common dream is achieved, which is to successfully complete this project. And finally, work is done, you adjourn and you move on from the project. That's your Tuckman ladder of team development. You may get questions in the exam on this. You'll give you scenarios and they will ask you about it. How to implement options for virtual team member engagement? See, there are many options. Like, for example, focus on how and not what. Like in Agile, team members are self-organizing. Request the team members to figure out on how to collaborate and then rely on tools to help. Like, don't tell them use this. Instead, let them come up with a solution that what they think will work best for them. And then, of course, if there are any tools required, go ahead and help them. As a PM, one needs to provide constant feedback to team members so that they can collaborate and work with each other. Absolutely, always, make sure you're giving them constant feedback. Like, I talk to my team members, constant, like every day I talk to all of my team members. And that's the common goal. If possible, co-locate the team member. Like, we always, since we are in a setup in a virtual environment, but we do like once a year party where we invite everyone and do that party together, and we invite families. That time is also very, very important. And virtual environment can always be difficult for PM, and it's the job of the PM to work on team strength. Talk about the opportunities which can achieve from those strengths. Have the commitment in place. If everyone knows what is expected out of them, they can definitely achieve that. There are different tools which you can use, like calendar tools, like visibility of team members' calendar to plan meetings, discuss, like make sure, like my calendar is always open. My team members can come in, they can pick a slot which is open. Similarly, I talk to my students a lot also. So my time goes there also. So, that's a very common tool we all use. Outlook, we always use that. Then we have variance analysis. Now, when you are working in basically virtual team environment, variance analysis plays an important role. And first of all, what is variance analysis? Planned versus actual. What you plan and what you actually did. Because members are virtually not located to one single position, the PM might get panic that, hey, team is not working well, team is not doing the right thing. So, you should always have a variance analysis in place, understand, how the team is doing, and then support them. Even though it is virtual, you should always support the team to make sure they get what they, the end objective of the project is not derailed. So this marks the completion of the theoretical part. Let's quickly do one question. Since this is a very small video, very small chapter, I don't have multiple questions on that. So that's why, I didn't show you the free exam content tool also, which you can get it from my website, because there are no questions in this. This is a very simple one. So let's do it. Let's do one question at least. You're looking for a resource who has very specific knowledge of a rare skill. You found a resource from another country who fits the description. You reach out to that resource and ask him to be part of this project for the first 2 months. However, the resource is not willing to travel overseas. In such a case, what should be your next step? So the person is not comfortable. You cannot force someone, right? Let's see. A, reach out to the resource and discuss the importance of the project for the organization and try to convince him more. You can do that. Not a bad choice. B, explore the option of virtual team with the resource. Absolutely. Right now, guys, everyone in the world is, working on virtual team. Then why not? I think more than A, B is a better choice. C, get as much knowledge from the resource, but flag this as a risk. No, you can. If you think that it's a very rare skill and you know someone, then, you cannot just get knowledge overnight. So C is out. D, reach out to the manager of the resource and let him know the importance of the project. If that's an utmost priority, you may do that, but it's not a preference. This should not be a preferred route. Honestly, the best option should be option B, which is talk about a virtual team. Okay. This marks the completion of this particular task, engaging and supporting virtual team. Very easy, very small. Let's quickly do revision. We talked about communication management plan, important. Focus on how to engage people in virtual team environment like Zoom, do sometimes watch movies together, pizza parties, you can do all virtually, right? Focus on Tuckman ladder, very important. I would say out of everything, Tuckman ladder plays a very important role, and of course, focus on practicing as many questions as possible, but not now. We don't have to practice questions after this video. After this video for chapter 1, we have another video, which is, I think, build a shared understanding, which would be the last video for this chapter. And then after that, we will be practicing questions. But before you go, please make sure that you subscribe my channel, and please do that, because I'm coming up with videos almost every month, every week in some time. So make sure you do that and comment and tell me how did you like the video. Thank you. Execute the project work. Action. Cut. Execute the project work. Video number 3. Action. Hello everyone. Today, cut. Execute the project work. Cut.